In early November, the Brooklyn College chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine sponsored a talk by David Sheen, a citizen of Israel who has been chronicling attacks against non-Jewish African asylum seekers in Israel for several years. Sheen took the audience on a fascinating tour de force through the application of Israeli repressive policies and attitudes directed internally at its own domestic population. He presented quote after quote from the leaders of many of Israel's official parties with seats in the Knesset, and photos of the gruesome attacks and killings of dark-skinned Israelis, Christians, and queers by religious zealots applauded by the Netanyahu government. To get into the event was a trip in itself. One had to register in advance and then pass through airport-style metal detectors while your bags were being thoroughly searched for God knows what.
The screening is really invasive and it's very thorough. It deters people from attending. I know I've had to think about giving extra time because I knew I would be subjected to being searched, and each time seems to be longer and more thorough and more invasive than the last. The security will take out little pouches in your bag and open them and see what's inside. One of the other members was saying security went through her wallet and looked through every single receipt, and I think that's really unnecessary. I'm pretty sure that this doesn't happen to all other student organizations, and I think that we shouldn't have to take it as a student group.
I watched as a woman from India who was ahead of me on the line saw her shoulder bag being ransacked by an officer of the New York Police Department. Her name is Sabi Hakasi, and I begin this report with some comments that she made on what she had just experienced trying to come to the talk. You're a medical doctor?
I'm a physician, yes.
I saw them going through your bag, entering. You were the first person to enter. Mm-hmm. They had your stethoscope and...
You know, this is more security than at an airport. It's bizarre to me. It makes me feel like a criminal, and I haven't committed any crimes. It's assuming guilt on somebody who you have no reason to assume guilt, and it's a violation of your right to privacy. I was talking to one of the members of SJP when I first walked in, Students for Justice in Palestine. They said the only groups on campus which receive this type of scrutiny are the Students for Justice in Palestine and the Caribbean Student Association. A lot of unnecessary security, harassment. When you think about somebody else being stopped and frisked for just walking down the street, or you think about even, somebody in Palestine, when you see videos of them being stopped and searched, and when it's not happening to you, you don't really fully understand how violated you would feel and how upset and angry you would feel. And then when it does happen to you, you can better identify with how a black man who's walking down one of the streets of New York would feel when he's stopped for no reason and searched for no reason. Then you can kind of start to empathize with them and understand where their anger comes from.
My name's Thomas DeAngelis. I'm with Students for Justice in Palestine at Brooklyn College. We're thankful that David Sheet's coming tonight. We invited him because his work on anti-Arab and anti-African racism in Israel is really important right now and really timely. And myself, as someone who is black, understand the realities of anti-blackness, anti-black racism. We think that it's especially important to be having people like David Sheen who are talking about anti-blackness in other geographies. In the past, when we had Stephen Salaita come, and a few years ago when we had Omar Barghouti and Judith Butler come speak about BDS, that drew tons of attention. Elected officials in the area came down hard on students and on faculty. The only issue is the extensive security detail, that we, again, and as well as Palestine Legal and the Center for Constitutional Rights have documented as essentially being unjust, and violation of amendment rights. And that this treatment is discriminatory, towards Students for Justice in Palestine and other organizations on campus. When other organizations have events that permit outside speakers and outside guests, they're not subject to the same treatment. We have, guests inside the event complaining about feeling harassed, by security because of the amount of security detail that they have to go through. That needs to be addressed, in some sort of serious manner.
My name is Fatin Jarrah. I'm a student at Brooklyn College. I'm studying linguistics.
And are you part of the group that's sponsoring this event?
Yeah, I'm part of Students for Justice in Palestine at Brooklyn College.
Recently, there's been a lot of publicity around an informer who is inside the group here.
Yeah, the story emerged actually a couple of months ago before it actually gained a lot of publicity. A lot of my friends were sharing the informant's picture, saying, if you know this person, don't talk to her anymore. She's an informant. She was working on spying on students here a couple of years ago as opposed to very recently. So I do know people who know that person, that individual, who were very affected, who felt very scared, very invaded, very intimidated by the presence of that person, not just on their campus, but in their lives, because they welcomed her into their circles, they welcomed her into their personal lives. And it's very upsetting that people had to go through that. It's very upsetting that this would happen on a campus and a cop would be sent to spy on students. There was no reason to have that at all. It's not like anybody posed any kind of risk. Anyone was doing anything questionable. People were going to school, attending clubs and events like any other students. And this informant came to invade people's privacy and instigate, intimidate. And it's really unfortunate and infuriating.
So this was an informant for the NYPD?
Yeah, my understanding is that it was an undercover cop who infiltrated, who knows, was maybe able to spy on the students by the permission of the administration at Brooklyn College, which makes it worse. So it's not clear how this cop was able to access the space over here without the okay of the administration or the security. That's what's really alarming. I'm sure they had some idea that there was an undercover person who was working on some kind of agenda, and they let it go. They didn't question it. They didn't notify students to be aware, you know. They worked against the students.
Did you know this person personally?
No, I did not. And I'm fortunate that I didn't encounter this person, but unfortunately, some of my friends, people that I knew that I went to school with, did. Those people are very welcoming. When they saw someone who claimed that they converted to Islam, they wanted to welcome her in their circles and accept her and invite her to functions and personal events. And it's really unfortunate that they were taken advantage of by this individual. There's no excuse to have this done, and I think the administration should be held responsible for allowing this to happen. It marginalizes the community of Muslim and Arab students and anyone who's in solidarity and anyone who looks like them. And it's not fair that they should feel threatened and intimidated on campus when, for many, this is their safe haven and this is a space that they spend most of their waking hours.
This is Mitchell Cohen for WBAI Pacifica Radio at Brooklyn College in New York.